meeting and we publish it. I mean, we don't have to
You
make it
got
a
it.
formal public hearing.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
I think,
Who do you want to answer the questions from the
Well,
citizens? Do you want the select board to answer those questions or the committee?
That's part of, we're going to get to the next steps with presentation, who's doing what. 'Cause-
Well,
yeah,
but my point is, if we do a all-encompassing one presentation to the select board with a large citizen population, all those questions are gonna be pretty much answered by the committee, versus the committee could be done after they present it to the select board, and then the select boards are answering those questions. No?
Well, I think your select boards will likely have to follow up after the presentation.
Right.
But you have your joint presentation, and then the individual towns, and
then you do.
the select boards have to decide, all right, we've got the results from the committee, how do we want to proceed?
And, I mean, that first one is gonna be information about what the committee gathered. The select board members that aren't here are gonna have a lot of learning curve too, just to get through this, so they won't be answering questions. I don't think it's that one, maybe just people from the committee might,
Right.
if people are there from the public.
I mean, realistically, I would see it as the rest of the select boards asking the committee questions
Right,
on
exactly.
that presentation that we do first.
Right.
Right.
So when we open that joint meeting up, you know, explaining right up front, this is the committee's findings in our investigation that we're presenting to the select boards for information.
Right,
That's
Matt's set up with a
right,
big screen PowerPoint presentation, and you go through the presentation, and
right.
you answer questions as they come along,
Right.
by slides, and, I mean, basically, we're putting the information out there to the select boards and anybody from the public, and that's gonna be the extent of it that night.
That's it.
And then it's the select boards deciding, okay, let's move forward.
Yeah, they gotta go back and disseminate the information with their
Yeah.
individual boards to make their decisions from there.
Yeah.
If the decision from that point is both boards say, okay, we wanna move forward in this direction, open it up to the public again and
Right,
say, this is what we've come to the conclusion of, and getting it out to the public. But at that point too, don't we wanna do something like a survey monkey or something to all of them? When this is out there to say, you know, what you're feeling as the public? Not just that meeting, I mean, it's gonna be probably on tape and everybody's gonna, I'm sure
How
Mount
many
Blue
towns
will be
typically
there.
handle public input like that? Is there normally how is?
not, I
No.
wouldn't say well.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
very difficult to get public opinion other than a formal vote
Formal
on
vote.
something. I
Right.
mean, you could do a poll of the people that are at the meeting that evening, but they're just going to have been hit with the stuff, so whether they've had time to digest it, or you're just looking for kind of a first impression poll,
I know, I
that's
just-
fairly easy to do, but then after that, I mean, we can put polls out to the public, like our Facebook or emails or whatever, we can put those out there. How you,
Maria's really good at
regulate
that.
whether multiple people are voting multiple times or not, gets a little bit more complicated.
Or if they're even in town.
Oh, right,
that's
or
a-
if they're
yeah,
a
resident,
resident,
it's
what
not-
they're-
not
yeah,
true.
are they a resident? It's easier if you're doing it like at a vote, if you're doing, even if it's
Right.
just a straw poll. If you're doing it at a vote, it's somebody that's gone through, been checked off by a ballot clerk, and then they
Right.
get in addition to your ballot, here's a straw poll we're doing,
Right.
please fill it out and drop it in. But then you only get the portion of peoples that are
Show
at the
up.
vote that day, so that's why I said we don't do it well. There's no real easy way to get good public feedback to say, yeah, we've gotten, you know, a lot of the community and not duplicated a lot, and I guess it depends.
Well, if we can have Mount Blue TV when we have a joint meeting, and that just opens up another avenue of people to get information.
Sure.
I mean, ideally, people see these agendas and see these meetings and they come to the meetings, and if they're watching it on Mount Blue TV after, and they're interested, then they come to that select board meeting that you've got it on the next agenda for, or whatever
Right.
agenda you have, you know, that they have to proactively get involved.
All we
Other
can do
than
is
that,
put it
it's
out there.
just when you decide you're putting it to the voters to vote on it. And their voice is really hard.
Do you have a vote coming up? When's your vote, spring vote?
June.
April, June. Ours is April, right?
So in theory, you guys would probably, if it moved forward this quick, you guys, unless you did, unless we agreed to tie the vote to the June primary.
That's what I was just gonna say, is your town meeting in conjunction with the June
Nope,
primary?
it's after
Or you
that.
do-
After, town meeting is after the election.
And you still do an open town meeting?
We do.
You don't, okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah, if you tied some kind of a vote to
To
the
the primary?
primary.
Then it would be all at the same time for
Yeah.
both.
That would be good.
You don't have to squeeze in there.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, that would be an option.
Be the cleanest one.
Right,
No,
and
it-
you probably get the most people,
Right.
because
You would.
people coming out for a June primary
Right.
probably get a larger numbers.
And
Yeah,
Bicycle
no.
200 instead of 40.
Bicycle rally, yes. Okay, so
You get
maybe
200
not
instead of 40,
excessively more, but
Right,
we can only do so much.
Lead a horse
So
to
from
water. You can
January
make
to
it
June,
right.
there'll be a lot of time for
Right,
residents to get to know what's going on and how the select board is looking to move forward from that point on.
Hopefully at
And
some
it's-
point, the select boards agree on a recommendation to the.
Well, that's gonna, yeah, that meeting, I'm gonna let Terry take over that meeting, I'm not, no. Anyways,
and there's
Okay.
nothing to say you can't have more than one joint
Right,
meeting.
right.
You know, if you guys have a
We
joint
need to.
meeting and you say, well, we've got more questions, or we'd like to come together again to have things further explained or something, you always have that option.
Yeah.
Right, and it helps if you look at the June primary, because it does give you more time,
Yeah.
more opportunities for public comments,
Right.
public meetings.
Yeah.
so the first thing is to set up a joint meeting, and then from there, the select boards will decide if we need more time. We definitely want to get the presentation out before that to them, to be able to read and review it too. And when we do it,
Yeah,
we
print the
definitely.
even side also.
Yeah.
I like to challenge everyone. Right, seems to really
Yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah. And ask them, when we get that out there, is to ask our select board members that aren't part of this committee to go through what's online too. Both the towns have put a lot of our information, our minutes and stuff like that up there. And they'll have the links to review at the same time, right?
Right.
So give them time from when we pick the date, get the meeting, from now until that meeting, the other select board members, we just wanna give them a little shove to get in there and read up on what we've done before the meeting, so they have a little background. So what do we, let's talk about that date. Let's get that done. How's that? A Wednesday.
So I believe that there was discussion about locations at the last meeting, but nothing was finalized. Have we spoken to any of these places, and do we know their availability to have us? A larger space than either one of our offices.
I mean, in J, I think you're primarily going to have schools,
Right.
would be
Will be
the
the same way
space that
Wilton,
we have, yeah.
Academy Hill,
Right.
Yeah,
or Cushing, either one.
most of the time we can get one of the schools. So if we pick a date,
And we
or
need
a
to pick a
date and a
date
backup
and go
date,
back.
maybe we can,
Yeah.
but we have the 3 schools in J, so usually we can get one of them.
Academy is larger than Cushing.
Yeah, Academy's larger than Cushing.
Do you wanna try to have the meeting in each of the towns or invite them all to one town? If you're talking about residents coming, is it gonna be a problem for one town to go to the other town?
I think the initial needs to be in one location, just,
No, I
One.
don't mean, right. I meant, if we're gonna pick a town, is there a preference? Like, do we want to do the first select board joint meeting in Jay or in Wilton?
I think it's where we can find a large enough space to, and who's available.
And then MBTV can transmit from that location.
That's correct, right, live stream it. Because there's, if they don't have that capability, then you have to wait a few days and they will upload it, but.
And you don't wanna maybe worry about, if we did it in Jay, will people coming to Jay, that you wouldn't wanna do the same thing again for the people in Wilton? Okay, just
No-
asking.
No more so than if we
Just
did it
wanna
in
make
Wilton.
sure.
If we
I'm
did it in
covering all the
Wilton, are you gonna
bases.
worry about the Jay people that
That's what I
don't
said,
travel?
vice versa,
Right.
right? Just asking, bring the question up so that we're all good with it, won't matter.
If everybody has plenty of notice that this
Yeah.
meeting is gonna occur,
They'll get in their car and
It's-
go wherever it is.
they have to take some ownership in attending if it's,
Do we wanna pick a date and then see what's available?
The only thing is
We have-
basketball season starting, and I know the gyms in Wilton, they can't do gymnastics anymore because the slots are all full. So there's two thoughts to it, is during break, but that's very quick.